So in this video today, we're going to take a look at our newly updated evaluations feature available to the gold level or higher subscriptions. So from our dashboard, we're going to head to Workout Tools and slide down to Evaluations. And here on the new onboarding screen, we now have 3 different ways that you can navigate through all of your evaluations. You have the option of creating a new evaluation, selecting from one that you've already made, or simply managing your evaluation, so being able to edit any of the questions that you may have placed into an existing evaluation. So the first thing we're going to take a look at is creating a new evaluation. So if we select here, you'll see we'll enter in our evaluation name. And now from here, we have the option of either selecting from tracked exercises or adding a custom item. So with this new build out of the evaluations feature, selecting a tracked exercise will now pull from any of the exercises in your database that have a tracking type selected, and it will then not only enter the data and save it for the evaluations page, but it will also save in your maxes and PRs page as well. Adding a custom item is the same that it's always been as our original evaluations feature, where you can create any specific tests that you may want to track. The only caveat to this is these will not be saved into the maxes and PRs. That's only going to be for the select tracked exercise option. So taking a look at both of these, if we select tracked exercise, and let's say we want to pull from a back squat, we can see that we are going to have 2 input values for the back squat. We are going to be able to track weight as well as reps inside of the evaluation. It's important to know with these tracked exercises, they are going to be pulling from the information in the database itself. So that's why all of these boxes are grayed out and you're unable to change them, because this exercise has already been created in the database. When you go to add a custom item, so let's say we want to look at something like wingspan. We're going to type that item in, and we want this to just be 1 value, but we do have the option to toggle over to 2 if we wanted, but we're going to keep this at 1, and then we're going to select from our measurements, and we're going to select inches. And now we're just doing the entire wingspan, but let's say we wanted to differentiate between the right and the left arms. We could select this toggle right here, and then we would be able to report right and left versus the entire wingspan itself. And then we also have the option to invert the numbers for reporting purposes. We can continue to add as many eval items as you would like by simply selecting from either the tracked exercise or the custom item. And if there is a question that you want to remove, you can simply click that X right there, and that will remove that item from the evaluation. From there, we'll hit next. And now we can select the date that we want to run the eval for. And then we can also select the group of athletes. So we can select by an athlete group, by calendars, or we can simply choose to do all of our athletes in our system. So over here, we're select group, and we're going to select the baseball group and hit next. And now you can see all of the athletes that are a part of our baseball group are dropped down below, and we can begin to complete our evaluation as they do their back squats. Some things to note on this page: we can select from this calendar icon up in the top right, and we can change the date of the evaluation. So we can always go back to, something on the 18th if we want to see what was recorded on a past eval. We can also select from this edit button right here in the top right, and this will allow us to add anything that we want to for the evaluation. So let's say we want to add in another tracked exercise, and we want to add in bench press. We can select barbell bench press, and then again, we're getting our 2 values for weight and reps, and now we can save it, and it will resave and update the evaluation itself. A really nice feature that we have added to the evaluations is Now coaches can be open on the evaluation page on 2 different computers or iPads, and they can be updating the information in real time. So let's say you have a coach that's working with the athletes that are performing their back squat test, and then you have a coach working with athletes performing their bench press. They can be on their own separate devices, and they can be recording that weight, and it will save and update everything, so that way you're not creating multiple evaluation forms. Everything's just going to be saved right into this one evaluation page for this specific date. So now back in our dashboard, if we select from an existing evaluation, any evaluations that were created using the old version of this feature will still appear here, and they can still be edited and adjusted accordingly. So you don't have to worry you didn't lose any of your evals that you had originally worked from. This is just going to be a newer and honestly better way to be able to edit and create more evaluations. So selecting from our existing evaluation, we can select complete the movement assessment, and we're going to select the date that we want to record the eval on. And again, we can select from group calendar or all athletes. We'll hit start, and then that existing assessment will populate down here. Back on our dashboard one more time, if we go to manage evaluations, so again, these are going to be any pre-existing evaluations that you already have. But on this page, you'll be able to see a list of your evaluations, when it was last used, the date that it was added, and then these 3 dots right here will allow you to edit anything in the evaluation itself. So this is another area where you can add tracked exercises, add custom items, so on and so forth, and then save it or go directly to open up that evaluation. And that's essentially the nuts and bolts of how you would use the new evaluations feature inside of your Team Builder account. Similar to our old evaluations feature, you will have the ability to run reports for these evaluations, and that is going to be found, how to do that is going to be found in a separate video on how to run an evaluations report. But if you ever have any questions about this new feature, please feel free to reach out to us at support@teambuilder.com.